Hi guys, it's Steph here and I'm back with my September TBR video. So last month I read 21 books and this month I have about 10 books on my TBR, and that's not overly ambitious for me because I do have school holidays coming up, so I will be having 2 weeks in which to read. And last time I had 2 weeks to read, I read 10 books in 10 days. No, I read 12 books in 10 days. So this is doable. So I'm going to get started. First up this month, I'm going to read Words in Deep Blue by Kath Crowley. This came in my YA Chronicles box. I also got a copy of this from a student in my class who is good family friends with the author, and they had it personalised to me, so I'm really excited to read this, and I've heard nothing but good things. Next, I'm going to read The Passage by Justin Cronin, and I actually don't know very much about this book at all, except that I picked it up at the Melbourne Writers Festival on recommendation from my parents. This sounds kind of creepy. It's got vampires in it, so it's a vampire book, but it also sounds like it's a crime book, and it sounds very curious, and I love the front covers. I have this book and I have the second book, but I'm going to try and get through The Passage this month. I haven't read anything like this, I don't believe, in a very long time, so I'm really excited to get into it. Next up, I'm going to read City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I know this is very hugely popular here on BookTube and I've never read it, and I never actually had any intention of reading it. Everyone is going on and on about it, so I thought I better at least attempt it. And you know, the good thing about starting it so late and having absolutely no idea what it's about is that if I do like it, there is already a ton of books out in this series, so I don't actually have to wait for the next book. Next up is Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, and again, this is something that's been hugely hyped here on BookTube, and the movie is coming out soon, and I thought I better read it before the movie comes out because then there's no way in hell that I won't be spoiled. Not that I have an issue with spoilers, but I thought it would be good just to read it before I find out all that much about the book. And you'll notice a theme here. I actually don't know a lot about the books that I'm reading, and that's okay. I like going into things blind, and then if I need to spoil myself, I do, because I'm weird like that. Next up, I want to read Untamed by A.G. Howard, and this is the series of novellas. I think they're sequel novellas, not prequel novellas, to the Splintered series, which is A.G. Howard's Alice in Wonderland retelling, sort of, which I really did enjoy. I read that at the end of last year, and I believe I finished the last book at the start of this year. But I saw that this book had come out, and I really want to reading about this world. I also want to read This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, which I got in an Outcrate box, and I've been hearing mixed things about this book, and I'm really curious to see what I think of it. I believe it's, you know, about monsters, and apparently there's no love story in this, although I think there's conflicting opinions on that from readers, but there's no intentional love story in this. Next up, I'm going to read Skulduggery Pleasant Deathbringer, which is the 6th book in the Skulduggery Pleasant series, and I'm obviously working my way through the 10 books or whatever it is that I own from this series. And I don't know, these books keep getting bigger and bigger, but I'm going to get through it. I might even get through the next book if I have time. The sooner I finish this book series, the sooner I can move on and finish other series. I am also going to be reading Empire of Storms, like pretty much everyone else in the universe, when it comes out in about a week's time. I'm ready to go back into that world, but I'm also quite content to just read it when I get a chance. But I do have it on pre-order, so I will be reading it this month at some point. I am also going to be reading The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, which I have received as an ebook from the publisher, and I actually really don't know anything about. I have seen it floating around. I think a few people have picked up arcs of it and have mentioned it really briefly in videos here on BookTube, but I actually don't know anything about it, so I'm really looking forward to reading that one. I think it's a sci-fi, I think it's a fantasy sci-fi book. It's young adult. I'm also reading Initiate by Laura L. Fox, which I also received from Of Tomes for review. I'm looking forward to reading that in the next couple of days. That is my TBR for September. Woo, look at these books. I'll wait to get into them. If you want to check my progress, you can check on my blog. I have a section on my blog called Books to Read, and I list down everything that I have finished reading in the month as I go along. You can definitely check that out. I'm really looking forward to reading these books. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to let me know down below what you are planning on reading this month. What are you most excited about reading? And I will catch you guys in my next video. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day. See you later, guys. Happy reading.